Well, the range of reforms, the most successful ones really have been, first of all, reducing trade barriers, which we've seen now has had a big effect, not only in ensuring that the manufacturing industry that we have left is far more efficient and innovative, but also we've seen that the burden that protection had placed on agriculture and mining has been removed. So we've seen a booming agriculture and mining sector without that lead in the saddle that they had to have from protection. That's been very important, and it has led to further reforms. In the Australian case, what was really crucial is that we opened the Australian economy to international competition first, and this provided a very strong incentive and discipline for further reforms behind the border in areas like infrastructure and labour market, things that were raising the costs unnecessarily of the firms that now had to compete internationally. So we found that that was a very reinforcing arrangement that led from one reform to another. So we've now had 3 phases of reform. The first essentially at the border, the second behind the border in terms of pro-competition policies, and the third picking up issues of regulation and human capital. And with a little bit of all of those phases still going on in the current agenda, but we got the momentum initially from international liberalisation.
The issue is that every business has an interest in competition being reduced. If there's less competition, they can make much bigger profits, they can put up their prices, maybe they don't have to worry about service so much. So the temptation to engage in anti-competitive behaviour is very big. If you have an effective competition law that deters business from anti-competitive behaviour and forces them to compete on price, service quality and so on, you'll get a much better result for every economy.
Well, if there is competition in the market, the producers will be more efficient, meaning that the price of the service or the product will be lower. Consumer will have greater options. They can choose one product over the other, and the quality will be better because competition, each provider will have to compete to attract consumers. Without competition, they don't have to compete. They don't have to improve themselves. I think developing economies, I would say that it's time that they have to rethink their policies that restrict competition, such as industrial policy that protects certain domestic industries. They need to re-evaluate whether the policy is bearing fruit or is it serving the objective that they intend to. For example, if they want to protect the industry, they have to evidence-based, they have to collect evidence whether after the protection of 20 years, has the industry become more effective and compete at the international level, or has they been just as inefficient? And who is bearing the cost of that protection? So I think these are the questions that developing economies have to start to question and answer.
I think the APEC economies are already focusing on the important things in terms of the structural reforms, the need to open their borders to international goods and capital and services and investment. These things are already happening. The challenge for APEC economies, I think, is to provide the institutional support within each economy to support ongoing reform and to conduct the reforms in a way that the people within each economy accept as being beneficial and can see the benefits coming from it. So institutions matter, good process matters, having a good technocratic support, good leadership, all these things are very important because individual reforms will come and go, but having systems that will identify ways of improving the performance of economy over time is something that is a durable thing that can really make a difference over time.